All right, before we talk about horsepower, screens, or numbers, here's the real reason the Lucid Gravity matters. Families are quietly terrified of EV SUVs. Not because they're slow, not because they're ugly, but because nobody wants to be stranded with kids, luggage, and a dead battery 2 hours from home. So Lucid didn't start with fear, they started with failure. And that's why the Gravity is one of the most interesting electric SUVs coming in 2026. Now, I'll be honest, when Lucid said they were making an SUV, I expected a taller Air. Same luxury vibe, same sleek obsession, just heavier. What I didn't expect was how aggressively practical this thing is, almost to the point where it feels like Lucid is quietly flexing on everyone else. Let's get the headline shocker out of the way. This thing is smaller on the outside than a Cadillac Escalade, but somehow has more usable space inside. When I first read that, I laughed, like actually laughed, because that sounds like marketing nonsense. But then you look at how Lucid packages their tech. Their motors are tiny, like weirdly tiny. The drive units are so compact they free up space where other SUVs are wasting volume on hardware. That's how you end up with 3 real rows, not punishment seats, and up to 112 cubic feet of cargo space when everything folds flat. And yes, everything folds flat. Not stepped, not awkward, flat. That's a big deal if you've ever tried to load bikes, furniture, or camping gear into a luxury SUV that clearly never expected you to do SUV things. Now, let's talk power, because this is where Lucid reminds you who they are. Up to 828 horsepower in the Grand Touring version, 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, in a 3-row family SUV. That's the moment where your brain kind of short-circuits. Because no part of your logic wants to accept that something built for road trips and school runs can also embarrass sports cars at a stoplight. But here's what surprised me more than the speed. It's not dramatic about it. You don't get that violent head-snap drama. Instead, it's this smooth, endless surge that just keeps going. The Gravity doesn't feel like it's trying to scare you. It feels confident, almost calm, like it knows it has nothing to prove. That calmness carries into the interior, which Lucid calls a sanctuary, and for once, that word actually fits. The cabin doesn't scream tech, it doesn't try to overwhelm you. The 34-inch curved 6K display floats in front of you, clean and sharp, but it's not shouting for attention. Materials are light, airy, almost Scandinavian in vibe. You sit higher than in the Air, obviously, but the windshield and glass area make it feel open instead of tank-like. This is an SUV you'd want to spend hours in, and that matters because Lucid is quietly solving the biggest EV problem nobody likes to talk about: range anxiety. Up to 450 miles of range. That number alone already puts it near the top of the segment. But what really changes the game is charging. Lucid claims you can add 200 miles of range in about 15 minutes. That's not grab lunch and wait. That's bathroom break, coffee, back on the road. For families, that's everything. Now, before this starts sounding like a love letter, let me pull it back and be honest, because the Gravity is not perfect. First issue, weight. You feel it. You can't escape physics. Even with Lucid's clever engineering, this is still a large, heavy vehicle. It handles well for what it is, but if you're expecting it to drive like a sporty crossover, you'll be disappointed. It's stable, planted, and confident, not playful. Second issue, brand trust. Lucid is still young. They've proven they can build incredible tech, but SUVs live harder lives than sedans. Kids, pets, towing, weather, abuse. The Gravity can tow up to 6,000 pounds, which is impressive, but long-term durability is still something Lucid has to earn. People buying a family hauler want boring reliability. Lucid is still exciting. That's a risk. And third, pricing. Lucid hasn't locked final numbers publicly, but let's not kid ourselves. This won't be cheap. It's premium, it's advanced, and it's positioned above mainstream electric SUVs. The value proposition only works if buyers truly care about range, space, and design, not just badge recognition. But here's where I think Lucid gets it right. They're not trying to replace the Escalade. They're not trying to out-Tesla. They're building something quieter, smarter, and honestly, more grown up. The Gravity feels like the EV for people who already tried flashy and got tired of it. And the wild part? This might be the first electric SUV where long-distance road trips stop being a compromise. No, we'll see how far we get, no planning your life around chargers, just driving. So here's the real question I'll leave you with. If you're shopping for a luxury SUV in 2026 and you don't care about engine noise, but you do care about space, comfort, speed, and not stressing every time you leave the city, is the Lucid Gravity actually the smartest option on the market? Or does Lucid still need more time to prove they belong in family garages, not just tech headlines? That answer might decide whether Gravity becomes a breakthrough or just another impressive idea that came a little too early.